on YouTube, man? Welcome back to the channel, man. Listen, do me a favor on your way in. Hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification time so you'll be notified every time my video drops, man. Welcome back to the channel, man. Check it out, bro. We got brother Sean in the building, man.
Know me,
listen,
yes,
bro.
Sir. Yeah.
Man, listen. Met bro at Recovery Church, man. It's been nothing but love and respect, man. And so I asked him, I said, hey, bro, I'm interested in your story. You know what I'm saying? Bro's just coming home, man. And so, man, he's got a glow about him, man. So, and more people in the world need that glow. And so I feel like, man, he can definitely put that light out there, man, with his story. And so, we're going to get into that, man. So, bro, how you doing today, man?
Man, I feel blessed, man. Just blessed to be here and blessed to appreciate and value freedom.
Yeah, man. How long you been home, bro?
Right now it's been 36 days.
Wow,
Yeah,
praise
36
God. 36 days, man. Yo, bro, how long you did, bro? How long you laid down?
About 13 years.
Wow, man. Wow, bro. That's wild, man. But hey, bro, I'm glad you're free. I'm glad you're home. Praise God for
Yes,
that, bro.
amen.
That's a long time, man. For some people, that's a lifetime, bro. You know what I mean? Oh, so where you from? Were you from Florida?
No, I'm not originally from Florida. So I'm originally from Baltimore, Maryland.
Oh, snap.
Hey, B-Mo. But I love Florida.
Okay.
I love Florida. So,
Okay. What was life like for young Sean, man? You had a father and mother in the home, or?
Okay, so I had a mom and dad. I don't know my real father, so I have a stepfather.
Okay.
Who was like a father to me, but of course I rebelled because he wasn't my real father.
Yeah.
But within that rebellion, I realized that it takes one hell of a man to raise children that's not his own.
Yeah.
So if there's one thing that he passed down to me was that. So I mean, I'm not gonna say it was a crazy, but it was a broken home, you know, drugs and drug use and poverty.
Right,
so,
right.
You know.
Right. You got siblings?
Yes, so I do have two brothers and I have three sisters.
Okay, you the oldest,
I'm
baby?
the oldest. Yeah.
Oh, okay, so you the example.
Yeah, I'm the hand me down. I don't get the hand me down. I don't exist no more. I'm the oldest. You straight.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. So yeah, man. So it's unfortunate in a way, man, that so many of us come from broken homes where we are exposed to addiction and dysfunction, man. What was it like being a young boy, man, seeing the dysfunction between your mother and another man, bro? What did that outlook look like as a young man when it came to like relationships, bro?
Well, in the beginning of it, it made me think that from seeing their dysfunction, that's what love was.
Yeah.
The violence, the aggression, the violent acts, and then the taking back. That was all a part of love.
Yeah.
And so my mentality on what I perceived love to be was skewed because I thought that all the toxicity was normal. It was a regular thing. If she loves me, she'll fight to keep me. You know.
Yeah.
If I'm out here with her, she'll scream, and we'll get into like not physical, but sometimes at that case, you know.
Yeah, it happens.
Verbal that the disrespect of what I thought love was love, and it wasn't.
Right.
And so it kind of tarnished my mentality of trust, respect, that I had to respect a significant other, because there was no respect from seeing the relationship. So yeah, I would say it affected my mindset and my outlook on how love was.
Yeah, man, for sure, bro. I mean, because the child's mind is like a sponge, man, and a lot of times, bro, like they do say, like, bro, we become a product of our environment, bro, and we do certain things that we're taught, you know what I'm saying? And so, like, bro, it's wild, bro. I remember being around the age of like 25 where I was just like, you know what? I'm questioning everything I was ever taught, even from my old girl. You know what I'm saying? Like your own mom, bro. Like even though like, I'm your typical 80s baby. You feel me? Dad wasn't in the home. I'm a crack baby, bro. So you know what I'm saying?
Too.
Yeah. So
me too.
Typical 80s baby story, bro. And it's sad in a way that was the norm. You know what I'm saying? But when you get to that point where your awakening comes open and you're like, wait a minute, bro, like that ain't right. Because you know what, bro, like I'm starting to carry on some of those traits that, man, is bringing me into places I really didn't want to end up in, really, until it's too late. You're in that spot and you're like, damn, how did I get here, bro? But it's like, hey, you know what? It comes from that generational stuff sometimes, but we breaking that generational thing this time, ain't that right?
Yes, we are.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, bro, when did Sean jump off the porch, bro? When did trouble start for Sean?
For me, I would say probably between 12 and 13. But the biggest thing was, I never forget, I was walking down the street with my grandma. That's my first queen. And we walked by a group.
Shout out to grandma.
Yes, you already know. I'm
a
grandma's boy.
That's right.
And we walked the street, and so there was a large group of people outside in our neighborhood, And my grandma, I never forget what she said. She said, "Baby, those are bad people." And when she moved me to the inside and was trying to teach me about how a man's supposed to walk with a woman, she was saying, "They're bad people, but they're our people."
Yeah.
And at that moment, it kind of sparked something in me, like, most kids have like a superhero like Batman and Superman, whoever. But to me, those were the guys that were feeding families.
Yeah.
And at that moment, they became the heroes in my life because they had money.
Yeah.
And while we were, starving, they were eating. When I would see them on the street, they would give me dollars to go to the store, and they would breathe on my life where I wouldn't get it except with my grandma.
Yeah.
Like, my dad, my mom wouldn't tell me they loved me that way or they were proud of me. I got that validation from the street.
Yeah.
And so that, I think by that time, it kind of like, that's where the trouble and the delinquency and all that thing started, because what I thought was family started to change to the streets.
Yeah.
And that's where, it shifted. So, yeah.
Yeah, man, it does suck you in something serious, man. Like what was let's talk about music for a second, bro. What was some of your musical influences, bro?
Well, back in the day, I mean, I like I've heard before, Master P, but Pastor Troy,
man,
even some
come
down
on,
south,
bro.
3 6
Pastor
Mafia,
Troy, bro.
but Twister, because I'm
Yeah.
like a little lover's boy, I'm a lover, so I like the Screwed Up and Chop. But even though I'm from up north, the Jada Kiss and all the different music influenced me to think that I had to be, like the music for me was like therapy.
Yeah, yeah.
They were able to speak about things that I felt, but I didn't know how to speak on them.
Right.
So I was like, man, they feel my pain, so this got to be real.
Yeah.
And so that. So it did influence me a lot. And I remember hearing earlier, you were saying something about Tupac and Biggie. I remember getting in a big fight about that. I was a lover of both.
Yeah.
And I put an Airbrush shirt with Tupac on the back and Biggie saying the best two hip hop artists ever.
Yeah.
And I remember that shirt getting ripped off me at a time where you couldn't love both. You know what I'm saying? And,
you gotta pick a side.
You gotta pick a side, bro. I picked two black guys, bro.
Yeah,
it was, But I remember those days, and the music I say was a big influence. But to me, it seemed I didn't really understand the music completely to how I do now. Like, but from what back then to now, the music was liberating.
Yeah, it was.
Like, even though there was like a lot of killing and shooting and this and that, there were liberating moments in that music.
That's right.
That I didn't know back then, but I realize now where it's lacking.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
and it's crazy, bro. You think about it, bro. There ain't no R&B music no more, right?
There's none of that.
None of that, bro. It ain't no making love music, bro.
Man,
it's just straight.
I ain't gonna put you out there because you're one of my favorite artists, but I can't dedicate that to a girl.
Yeah, yeah.
Like if I'm in a relationship, I can't be like, baby, check this song out, because he's like, yeah, you and your friend. Hold on.
Yeah.
That's not like, I'm saying I love you. You know what I'm saying? But it's done changed. Like, it's just people afraid to be like romantic, or this is what it is.
Yeah.
And they think chivalry's dead. That's not.
Bro, it's crazy, man. I'm coming home from work the other day, bro, and man, I'm bumping Michael Jackson, Prince, bro, bro, man, Spring Love, bro. It was just like, man, that song don't make me want to kill nobody, man. I'm chilling, bro. I want to dance. I'm vibing in the car, bro. And you know what's funny, right? I'm vibing to something like that, bro, and I get a phone call, and it's Jimmy. Hey, bro, is this you to the right of me? And I'm like, jamming in the car, bro. And I was like, oh
Yeah.
snap, Jimmy called me.
Yeah.
I wonder if he saw me like jamming out. But yeah, man, like, bro, it's wild though, bro. How times have changed, man, when it comes to the musical influence, bro. Because it's scary, man, because there's a lot of young people that are being so influenced, bro, by the stuff that's being portrayed out now, and you know, the whole purpose for this channel is to look at things from a light perspective, bro. That yeah, even though we were influenced to a degree back then, but man, the music of our day came with a message, though, bro. Like when Pac said, you know what I'm saying? And even as a crack fiend, mama, bro, like I felt that, bro. I relate to that. Like, man, like not having a father in the home, and you know, that type of stuff, bro, is just like it was liberating, man. And like, I ain't gonna lie, bro, I kind of gave up on hip hop to a degree. Probably right around the time when like Waka Flocka was out, bro. Like,
I remember that.
Waka Flocka was at them headbanging days, like okay. But after that, I was just, I can't even keep up with these new guys, bro. And it's like my son tries to show me some stuff, and I'm like, nah, bro. But all right, so 12, 13, man, you jumping off the porch, bro. What's that looking like, man?
You know, in the beginning, it looked, you know, as I reflect back on it, it looked, you know, I thought I was the toughest dude in the world. Being biracial, I had to feel like I had to go hard on everybody.
Right.
But I would say the biggest thing was I had to live an image.
Yeah.
And being a person that was like a person that had to go hard and you know, a lover, I had to pretend that I didn't love.
Yeah.
And I think that when I think back on it, so I caused more problems pretending that I was tougher than the next.
Yeah.
To be accepted by what I thought was real. So I think that it made me terrorize more to be accepted. So then I went harder. So I feel like that in the beginning stages of me trying to find who I was trying to find my identity through other people.
Yeah, yeah.
And when I would do certain things, you know, the people in the community would pat me on the back for that.
Right.
They would reward me with love and trust.
Right.
And responsibility.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, you know, I didn't get that at home, so I was like, man, I gotta be doing something right. They always call me to take care of business or to make sure something's right, and man, they gotta love me. They gotta know I'm the one they can count on.
Yeah.
And I think that just caused me to get like out of a spiral. And I think the worst part about when I was, you know, in the streets at a young age was I didn't have what most people have, and in those young ages, they could just be them. I still had to hide who I was in the street in my home.
Yeah.
You know, for many years, my family didn't know the extent of how deep I was in the streets.
Yeah.
They just thought I was a pretty boy that was, well, he got a couple homeboys, but I try to keep that away from home, not because I was smarter than the average or that I was tougher. I was scared.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I knew that even though I come from a crazy family, I love this family.
Yeah, yeah.
And I know what the streets will do to them.
Yeah.
From my mistakes, you know,
Yeah.
from what I'm seeing every day with people playing with money,
Yeah.
or getting robbed and you can't pay, and
Yeah.
and no one cares about that.
Yeah.
No one cares about, you know, hey man, where's my money at? Oh man, man, you better go get it.
Yeah.
And so like, you know, and I think that's what probably caused me to spiral out of control more, is that I had to live a double life.
Yep.
I had to pretend, you know, that I was going to school, I was doing everything, and then, you know, still doing everything else. So I think that was a big thing. I wish, not saying that I didn't have that, but I know that if I could have just been me, probably more people in my family or my grandma could have been able to try to, you know, reach out, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, I definitely relate with that, man, because that's one thing when you start getting involved with things, and you start living up to a code, right? We were taught, especially back in our day, not today's generation, but man, we keep that stuff away from home.
Yes.
Man. But eventually it does and will catch up to you, because bro, like around the time, because we're close to the same age, you know, there was, it's crazy to say this, bro, it's because there was code, but then again, nobody really stands on code. You know what I'm saying? It's wild, bro. Like I just showed y'all, you know what I'm saying, the bullet holes outside.
Yes.
Like, you know, and this is grandma's house. So it's like, bro, thank God my people weren't here when this event took place because, bro, how the house was set up back then, my grandma used to sit there, my grandfather used to sit here, and where it came through, both of them would have been, you know what I'm saying? And that was things that I involved myself. Like, bro, I come from a good, loving family. And as a youngin', you know what I'm saying? Like with the influences of, man, Boys in the Hood,
oh man,
you know, seeing that, you know, again, not having a father in the home, and just looking for that, bro. I got myself involved in things that, of course, I shouldn't have, and the results of that, bro, could have definitely turned out very bad, bro. And so, but in that, there is a sense of that power. When you get that power over somebody, man, your first taste is like, it's addicting, man. That's like your first hit, like, I can really do that to somebody. I can really have this power over somebody. Whether it be to make them come out their pockets or whatever the case, man, just to see the fear. Because my thing, bro, I thrived off of violence, bro, because I was so timid as a youngin', but to have that first taste of, and it was just like, bro, it was addicting after that, bro. So I violence was my thing. I was never a dope boy. I couldn't sell weed to nobody, man. Like, that wasn't my thing. I wasn't a thief, man. I was an enforcer, man. When it was time to get business, hey, the boys could, hey, man, I need you. Hey, say less. I'm on the way. You know what I'm saying? And that was a very sick feeling. Now that I look at it, bro, the amount of violence, bro, that you can inflict on someone, and just getting that feeling off of seeing the fear in someone and making them do what you want them to do, man. It's sick, man. And so, I don't live with. I can't say I really. Of course, we have regrets, but again, like, and I say this to a lot of men, bro. All the energy that I put into the street, all the energy I put into an organization or whatever, this and that, bro. Now I use that aggressiveness to go after the people like that. Be like, hey, bro, listen, I know that feeling, bro. I know what you've been through. I've been there, done that. But hey, listen, man, we can do it on the righteous path, bro.
Definitely.
And like, it's amazing. God has really blessed me with a mouthpiece and a testimony and a walk, bro, to get through the men that have been on that path, bro, that have been in organizations. And like I shared with y'all before, bro, you know how the Bible says, when a man's ways pleases the Lord, it says even his enemies will be at peace with him.
Yes.
Like, hey, listen, bro, I've talked to numerous brothers of different organizations, and I'm like, hey, bro, some of them are like, yo, you bold. And I'm like, hey, bro, listen, man, I serve a bold guy, because you know what? It don't matter what side of the flag you on, bro. Hey, listen, man, how much do we really have in common with each other, bro? That you might have think, okay, well, I was raised up with this type of knowledge, that you see someone with, no, that's the op. Man, how much do you know that, man? You know, me and that brother probably going through the same exact thing, looking for the same exact thing, bro. And so it's like, hey, you know what, man? Hey, I don't care what flag you got, bro. Hey, listen, I can love you, bro.
Exactly.
I don't want nothing from you, homie. I can love you today, bro. Couldn't say that back then, but now, bro, that's the thing with the love of God, bro.
Exactly.
Man, you can shed that love on anybody, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's amazing. So, okay, 12, 13, bro. You know what I'm saying? You're getting involved in some stuff, man. Now, is this all back home?
Yeah, this is all back home. So it's funny because, like, you know, I started to do a lot of things. Then of course, smoking weed.
Yep.
And the weed turned into cocaine. And then, you know, just kind of like, you know, just partying, you know, trying to pretend that I don't have an addiction, trying to maintain, because, you know, you're not good for business when you have a habit and you sell drugs.
Yeah.
So, trying to maintain that life. So that's another double life, you know, in front of the people. I'm good. I'm a deal, and in front of the, you know, people I can get high with on the low, and just trying to just continue to build an image and a reputation.
Yeah.
And then the hardest part is trying to maintain two reputations and two different lifestyles.
Yeah.
And so that was, then eventually, well, I guess we'll get to that, coming down to Florida. And
because eventually, man, those two lives eventually start to mesh
together and crash.
Yeah.
And Sean Wright was exposed.
Yeah.
From two different lights, there was a choice. And at that moment in my life where I had to make a choice and allow my family to see who I really was.
Yeah.
By then I was so engaged with the street life and the ideologies that I chose a family over my blood.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's just one of those things. So I think that if a person has the freedom to be them, then you won't have to hide who you are to be able to get love or what you think is love or perceived to be love from other people.
Yeah.
Or validation.
Right.
And I know a lot of people probably weren't seeking that, but for me, I was seeking something that I couldn't get from my real father.
Yeah.
And other people who became not only big brothers to me, but father figures in my life, and a place surrounded around poverty. These are my heroes.
Yeah.
And they were my heroes because we were able to eat. And then, like you had said about the power, it's funny because when you said like you weren't good at selling drugs, so I was like the worst drug dealer ever.
Yeah.
Okay. And the reason why is because I came up in the era where the old schools who sold drugs, they sold drugs to keep you afloat.
Yeah.
So if you had like a house payment, we would make sure you still can pay your rent and then still buy. So we don't take everything from you.
Yeah.
So I'm out there trying to like sell you drugs, and at the same time, you got food in the house?
Yeah.
So because I cared, because my mother's on drugs.
Yeah.
So the addict was always a person that I tried to save, even though I made money.
Right.
And yes, which is funny to me now to think back of it, like I was in the wrong business.
Yeah.
But I cared about the people, not saying just because I cared, but I also cared where the deceit and the creep would come in, where I gotta keep you afloat to keep getting money.
Yeah.
So I'm still wrong, even though I would justify I'm the better drug dealer. I'm still taking from other families.
Yeah.
To supply my own family with food,
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen that with a really close homeboy of mine, and he really did make a big turnaround. He wound up going up the road for a while, and I tell you what, bro, like when he came home, because he was a hustler in the street, he already had that hustle mentality. And I peeped that. I'm like, down here in Florida we call them buddies. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, buddies, yeah.
And but you were like, man, you really taking care of buddy, man. Like that's crazy. But it kind of you're defeating the purpose because he's coming to you with his paycheck. But to see, what I'm saying, him come get incarcerated for the things that he was involved with, and but to see him come home business minded and to flip that on a positive note and to see him thrive and flourish, bro, it's amazing, man, and it just shows that, bro, it can be done, man. And not everyone. I've seen a lot of people fall from it, bro, and it's sad and it's unfortunate. But I thank God for the ones that have made that change, bro, because it's such an influence and it's so powerful, bro, for other people that could be struggling. Just come home like, man, I gotta ride a scooter, bro. My dog rode a scooter, bro, and then he graduated to a little bucket, and now, like, bro, he's got a brand new 2024 car, like, bro, he's doing, and it takes time, it takes discipline, like we just read in the word earlier about, what I'm saying, that self-control, that discipline, and the thing about God is when God starts to step in on men like us, bro, I thank God he gives us that pause, because back then it wasn't pause. It was just like, yo, it's just on the fly. But now it's like, no, hey, God has opened up my understanding. Be like, hold on, wait a minute. Let me think this out. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, okay. We can go this route. You know what I'm saying? And, he gives us back morals, bro. To where back then it was just like, it was all really self-centered, bro. Like, it was all about me. And we don't think that what we do affects so many other people around us, bro. And so when you came to Florida, bro, how old were you when you came to Florida?
When I came to Florida, I was like, I think 26, 25, about to be 26.
Okay.
For a 2-week vacation.
Woo!
You know the old thing in Florida, they've been saying my whole bit. You come on probation. I mean, you come on vacation. You get out on probation, come back for violation.
Oh no.
I ain't get a chance to leave.
Yeah, yeah.
So I came out of Florida, and I love up north. But I came to Florida, man, and from the moment that I crossed the Welcome to Florida sign, I fell in love with Florida.
Yeah.
Not so much because why everybody else does, because when you're from Florida, you don't really know that Southern hospitality is a real thing.
Yeah, yeah.
But most Floridians say, "Oh man, yeah, I ain't trying to be friendly." Well, the reality is that Florida is a place where you feel, even though it's dangerous,
yeah,
and it's a respected state, it's still like a place where you still feel that Southern hospitality. In the world that I come from, Baltimore, you will walk out your front door, and if your neighbor waved at you, you'd be like, "Hey, I'll be right back." Let me move out my window, make sure everything's good. Because why they saying what's up?
Yeah,
like you got to always be, because it's more grimy.
Right.
And when I came down here, I never forget the way people like welcome me. And then there was no boundaries.
Yeah.
Like you could go anywhere you want to go, even though it's still dangerous, but you can go there.
Yeah.
And you could just set up shop, and I was like, man, that's great. And it all comes with a cost, but what I'm saying is that I fell in love with Florida just being a place where there were so many different people, and it was the South, and it was always something I read about but never experienced.
Yeah.
And so, I came down here, and I think without the restriction of family and being able to, and now that I'm all the way engaged in another lifestyle where I can just be 100% wide open. Yeah, that just completely set me up to not only throw cinder blocks at prison, but to build something.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because it was predestined. I mean, like the life I was living when I transitioned down here was like you going and you probably gonna get a death sentence if somebody don't kill you first.
Right.
So.
Right.
Yeah.
So I want that to sink in, bro, with somebody that's watching this. Yo, this man came here on a 2-week vacation and ended up doing a little over 13 years in the Florida Department of Corrections. Think about that, man. And we won't get into too many details about it, but bro, what caused you to get incarcerated here in Florida?
Okay, so for the sake of what we can talk about, I would say that I subjected myself to a situation and decided that someone else's life was more important than mine, and kept it, as we would say, 100 or 21.
Yeah.
And there is no regret in terms of that, but the regret is that at what point in my life did I feel that other people were more important than my dreams, my family, my life, my goals, and my value. And so that I feel like some people say they got saved when they went to prison. I got rescued. The first 10 years were not rescued because I was just out of control, mad at the world, mad at myself. But it really changed everything for me when I realized that what I thought was loyalty was something completely different.
Yeah.
And the reality of the sacrifice. And I think that a lot of younger guys, older guys don't really understand that my greatest attribute or asset to family was that I'm overly loyal and that I will sacrifice myself for other people.
Yeah.
And I really just had to wrap my mind around that. These are great things in a lot of us that we consider brokenness that are actually like the most wonderful things. And so other people see that in us and accept us like, yes, not understanding that it might not be as genuine as we think.
Yeah.
And that really changed a lot of things for me with the incarceration. But really at the end of the day, I could have walked home. I could have never did a day in prison.
Yeah.
But the thing about it, when I went to prison, I realized that probably 83% of the people weren't keeping it real.
Yeah.
So I spent a lot of time in the law library reading other people's cases, reading discoveries. They're real, guys.
Yeah.
And realizing that majority of the people that I thought were solid were not solid.
Yeah.
And that black and white does not lie, gentlemen.
Mm-hmm.
And it gave me a chance to see the reality of so many hundreds of thousands of people that kept it real when in their casework nobody else did.
Yeah.
And it really opened my mind up to say that if I was going to go back out there into society thinking that what was real, that I was the fool.
Yeah.
So I had to get real.
Yeah.
The problem was I didn't know how.
Right.
I didn't know how to to change the mindset because, you know, in prison I wasn't going to church. I was running from it. You know, I was like, so, you know, there had to be a breakthrough, and I didn't really know where that breakthrough was going to go, but I knew that I didn't want to be what I was before I came into prison.
Yeah.
And that was a fool.
Right.
I didn't want to be a person that my family couldn't depend on. And being able to go through the photo album, every time you turn a page, years of people growing and changing and dying, and I'm not there.
Yeah.
And, you know, that really takes a toll on you when you realize that, you know, I would rather bring people flowers when they're alive than when they're dead.
Absolutely, man.
And so I spent a lot of time with those flowers that I was like never able to give to other people because they're not there. So the flowers don't necessarily have to be like flowers. They can be like, I love you, I'm sorry, time with you, like validation.
Yeah.
So the flowers can be whatever you want to give somebody while they're alive, but we wait till they dead to come over there and talk about the good times, but I don't never have that good time with you.
Yeah.
And that really kind of like started messing with my mind in Department of Corrections, seeing so many other men suffering through a blue phone and no control over any life outside. And in the midst of the love they had was losing everything, like trying to hold on to your family was like trying to hold into water in your hands and it just slipping through your hands. And one day I see a dude happy, the next day he lost everything.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, wow, like time, like, and I value that more now than ever, time.
Yeah.
You know, like that's what's so important to me because with time, everything else will come.
That's right.
So that really kind of changed my perspective on a lot of things.
That's right, man. You know, because like you hear the stories of the missed Christmases.
Yeah.
You know, and stuff like that, man. And like, I remember when my cousin Gracie had passed away. She was 21, and her mom was incarcerated. Right, she just had got incarcerated, bro. And because she was a flight risk, she couldn't come bury her daughter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was just like, wow, that is so sad, bro. To think, man, that like, you know, you really just become a number. You're not a person.
What?
You know what I'm saying? And I don't wish that for nobody, man, because it's, you know, like I said, I've never been to prison, man, but you know, I've heard so many stories of how humiliating it can be, and I can't even imagine the hardships, bro. And that's what I want people to realize that are watching this video. I mean, you got a man here who lived it, been through over 13 years of his life, man, having to live with just being a number.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But bro, I'm so grateful to God, bro, that we're sitting here together. That you're here to tell your story, man. Because, bro, like, I really believe that it's gonna touch somebody, and it's gonna prevent somebody from going down that road, man. What was, if you can speak on it, bro? What was one of the craziest things that you seen in prison, bro?
Woo!
I'm sure so many come to mind.
There's so many, but if I could say one that I would say that is crazy is because I was able to with so many other people is when you see a man broken, when you hear a scream that you know that he's getting beaten, handcuffs, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
When you could be so numb to step over dead bodies. And dead bodies, I don't mean like literally dead, I'm just saying like dead people just existing. When you could become desensitized to not care about, like if somebody gets off the phone, like, man, I just lost my mom today. Our response is because we deal with death so much that it's like, yeah, man, but you still here. Or we just got rebuttals because, man, everybody died, bro.
Yeah.
And it's just like, when you just know that no matter what you do, in that moment, in that time, for me, the hardest thing about prison was that for many years of my life, I became the same animal.
Yeah.
And, you know, you try to like deal with that, but the reality is that you become subjected to the same environment that you say that you're not. Like, so you come into this world, and if you have a heart and you care, You become and have animalistic behavior for survival, to thrive instead of survive, to be a predator instead of a victim. And that's just what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so to see good men come in that come from great families, and see them having to suffer through that.
Yeah.
So, it just gets your mind thinking like, damn, like, who am I? Like, where am I? Like, what have I become?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and that's sad, man, because you hear that, bro. Is like I've heard from a couple of prison channels, bro, that it made them worse.
Yeah.
Like they really didn't want to get involved, but to survive in there, bro.
And that's I think that's the hardest part for me, is that these could be my sons, and I don't have any kids, but it could be my family. Yeah. And I would just pray that somebody would be there, like big brothers like us, to be like, hey man, he good, man. Hey, you good.
Yeah.
And the reality is that in prison, it's more men saying, nah, come over this way.
Right.
Like, instead of being able to be a true mentor and true leader in that moment, to say, I'm not here to take souls.
Yeah.
I'm not here to recruit. But if you come across this line, it is what it is.
Yeah.
And I think that sometimes with some part in life, with just a lot of our mentors and solid dudes, we kind of got away from what we really are.
Yeah.
And so I think that just seeing broken people and being broken in prison for so many years, that was probably the hardest thing.
Yeah.
And just trying to learn how to talk about that for a lot of us that can speak about it without thinking it makes you weak or soft or I know it is what it is, but I also know what it's like when the mask falls off in front of everybody.
Yeah.
And you are left with you.
Yeah.
And the you've hid from everybody else is now exposed for the whole world.
Yeah.
And I know what that feels like. And let me tell you something. There's no amount of humility or that would ever be able to make you feel good after that moment.
Yeah.
Because now everybody's you, and you haven't had the time to be with you, and you don't even know how to give you to everybody else.
Yeah. That's real.
So,
that's real.
And
I can tell, bro, prison has definitely affected you in some certain ways. You know what I'm saying? But I can also tell, bro, that there is a glow about you, bro, that, you know what I'm saying, that it's radiant, bro.
Thank you.
I mean, you're really glowing. And I'm not talking about just the fresh coming home prison glow, man. I'm talking about that change glow, that God glow, man. And bro, we're gonna rock some people's world.
I know
with
that's
this,
right.
bro.
Yeah.
Yo, bro,
I'm with
like,
you, man.
man,
I'm with you.
And so, like, we know prison affects people, man. What was, on a lighter note, right? On a lighter note, man, what was maybe one of the most stupidest things you've seen in prison, man? Like,
just like crash dummy stuff, like, like, make it make sense, man. Like, like, bro, like, so many dumb things where you be like, I don't care, man. Man, it'd be so dumb where you be like, man, let me help him out. Hey, man, look, come here, bro.
Yeah.
Like, just so I would say, like, just the conniving and, man, if you ain't, man, stop lying to these people about what you're going to give them. Man, these people got life, man. That $2 means something, okay? So, probably the dumbest thing was principle over logic.
Yeah.
And I think that I've seen so many people get split, stabbed, all type of things just for principle. $2.
Yeah.
Canteen prices went up, so now you can spend $150. So just imagine that. So it just being able to see how fast human life and the disregard for it. And I would just say a lot of guys just going there pretending that it's somebody they're not.
Yeah.
And and when I say that, I mean, like, there always is somebody bigger and badder.
Yeah.
And there always is somebody who really don't care.
Yeah.
Who really just got the big case of efforts.
Yeah.
And I think that right there would probably be the most. Just people just trying to, all them prison movies and going there and beat up the biggest dude. That is not. I met more people that never got in a fight when they were just the softest dude in the dorm, but they had so many killers around them that said, you ain't gonna do nothing to him.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't die about him because he don't never mess with nobody. He be in the Word every day, and he clean up showers every day. And just a person that never had to pretend and had freedom.
Yeah.
And, I look up to those people like that, the old schools, or the young kid who might have an addiction. And, it'd be that just people pretending that there's somebody now.
Yeah, man, it's crazy, bro. Really, I got a cousin, bro, younger cousin of mine, bro. He's looking at some time right now, but prior to this bid, he already did another bid. I mean, bro, he's like one of them white boys that ride on the four-wheeler, skateboarder. You know what I'm saying? Out in the country here. He came home. He got big as hell. This dude got a whole swastika on his. I'm thinking, man, you don't come from that stuff, man. What is you doing, bro?
So, I will say this, and this is one of the hardest things about prison. I'm sorry for some of the fellas. So many of us, and I say us, being biracial, are looking for identity, and we find that identity and that acceptance in the wrong things.
Yeah.
Socially.
Yeah.
So socially, by being a four-wheeler country, certain groups might not look at him as, man, you cool because you country, man, you be out there with them people. And then when you feel isolated and you don't know how to speak on that, you surround yourself around people who like country music, four-wheelers, and who mostly likes four-wheelers in the country. So that group, and now you start to hear the ideologies and the way they think, and you think, I'm kind of cool with that, I guess.
Yeah.
And if another group, another side, especially being biracial, doesn't accept you, you normally go with the group that accepts you.
Yeah.
And I think that is one of the, if more people go in, if they have to go in prison, and knowing where they're from, where they come from, and not be ashamed of that.
Yeah.
And even if everybody's against you, you still stand on where you from and where you come from in terms of like, look, I know I'm this, I'm not that, I don't hate, I like everybody.
Yeah.
As long as you straight with me, it don't matter what color you are. I feel like that would transform prison culture.
Right. I got another that cousin, his uncle, right? My cousin Johnny. My cousin Johnny wound up doing like altogether like 21 years in and out. Like, bro, back in the 80s, bro, he had robbed a heroin dealer, and he was so geeked up on prostitutes and drugs and all this stuff. So the police had ran down on him, bro. He wound up shooting 2 police officers. Now, that's before 1020 life down here in Florida in the 80s. So he did like 9.5 years on that one. And I asked him, I said, bro, I asked him the same question. I said, bro, what was one of the stupidest things you've seen in there? He goes, well, he said, one day, man, we're coming in from rec, and there was a hit out on this dude, and coming around the corner, so the dude that they wanted to hit had ran past him to rush in. Well, my cousin said when he hit the corner, dude had one of those weights, came around the corner, cuz right in the face, knocked out all his teeth. And it's funny because his name in there is Crash, and he's like, cuz I would crash out, man. I'm like, bro, that's crazy, bro. And I was just like, really, that's the stupidest thing? He's like, oh yeah, that was on the daily. I'm like, man, that's crazy, bro. Crazy, man. But he free too, man. He doing good himself too. So but it's wild, man. So I know you had said a minute ago, man, about 10 years you were like wilding out in there, right? Yeah. So what was that tipping point for you, bro, in there, just being like, you know what, man, like something's got to change, man.
Yeah. So for me, it was not every old school is to be trusted. But there was an old school gentleman, man, that really kind of like spoke into my life. So, for the first 10 years, and I don't know if I'm the only person who does this in prison, but, them photo albums, man, they so I would tell these stories in my photo album. If I got close with you and you found out, I mean hours, I ain't talking about like 20 minutes. Yeah, and I relive every time somebody opened a photo, every time they would flip a page, I would relive that.
Yeah.
And then one day I'm in the box, and so it's an old school dude. I know him from the compound. He's solid, run tickets. And And I mean, I'm dead in the middle of the story. I'm talking about, I'm like, I'm doing box time, turned up. Yeah, bump by the Jordans on with the chain. He like, yeah, I don't see none of these pictures. I'm like, man, hold on. I'm trying to get to, I'll be like, you living in the past.
Yeah.
So how far does your photo album go with you? So I'm trying to go through the photo album. Yeah, I mean, it's right here, man. See, this is the same person. He like, but you ain't there. Yeah. And when I was talking about the cars and all I had, he said, I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't believe in battery on the elderly, but I wanted to do something to this dude, man. When he told me, you mean to tell me you had this type of car, but you didn't own the house? And when he started like breaking things down to me to say that you had the right idea, but you mean to tell me you hustled, you had all the clothes, you had all this, but your grandma's house was in foreclosure.
Come on, man, y'all pay attention,
okay?
Man.
And
what
so
bro's saying.
That kind of like made me want to like, I didn't know how to process that, and I'm like, man, will you? And I tried to like rebuttal, but he had so much knowledge, but at the same time, coming from where I came from, he was the only one I could really receive it from, because you just wasn't some naive old school. You really lived this.
Yeah.
You just got life. So he kind of like broke down some barriers and was like, listen, young man, you got to understand, like, you hustling and you got given what you were given because you were paymaster. You were pawn in somebody else's game.
Yeah.
And you thinking because you come and you get things on consignment that you somebody.
Yeah.
And so I started to like really think about like my life, and then he would tell me, he's like, man, you're not even good at selling drugs. You're good at customer service.
Yeah.
That was the first person who spoke into my life and said, you are friendly because you're a people person.
Yeah.
And I started like, nah, man, I ain't on that, man. You don't understand. And then I would start to say, yeah, man, I am. I'm good with people. Yeah. And I would start to make small changes, but he was the first one who gave me the idea and concept on how to change the vocabulary for me to not, and guys and men like us or women, to not take it as offensive, because I didn't understand it. Because before I went to prison, I'm not gonna lie, gentlemen, I was very ignorant. I thought if I got louder than you, especially being light-skinned, that I won the argument, which caused many physical altercations. And for some of y'all who think y'all Muhammad Ali and Oscar De La Hoya, I ain't win all of them. Okay? Okay, I don't know about y'all. I ain't, okay. When you man, he hit hard, but it's already too late. So, it's I know ain't none of y'all lose one. You guys are like 30-0, but I know what it's like. It's a humbling feeling. You out there working out next year, I gotta work, And, but I think that's when it really changed, was when I started having someone who was tough enough that every rebuttal I had, he had something to match it. But in a way that was like, break you down, but build you up.
Yeah.
And that's when it started to change, to be like, I want something better, but I don't know how to let go of the old mentality to get it. So I thought, then I jumped on I got to do all the wrong things for the right reasons. So I rode that wave for like another year, and then the curates came into the prisons.
Yeah. And
so, I feel like that, they say that, God knocks on the door, but as I look at me and Drew and Jimmy and a lot of other men that I met over the years, I feel like God didn't knock on my door, on the heart. I feel like he sent a soldier to kick that door down.
Straight up.
And,
straight up.
Yeah, man. So I was like in there, and I'm like, man. So I couldn't fight against. There was so much love within those 4 days that I realized that he had sent people in there to, pour into my life, and I surrendered. And and I ain't gonna lie to you, man. It wasn't like a easy thing, because I'm going back out here to the compound with the reputation and the image. But then everybody's seen a change. And so I think that at that moment that Sean Wright was born, because up until that moment I lived in an image. I lived in a idea of what you thought I was. And at that moment, that's where breakthrough started really happening for not only my family, but my family. And everybody's life I touched after that. Those last 2.5 years was monumental for me in prison, that changed everything. I was given jobs as a facilitator. a head dog trainer. I taught drug classes. I was a mentor. And I just think that for me, I could never done any of it without Jesus Christ. But the thing that just blows my mind is that it was men who looked like me, who were rough like me, that way I was able to see that I didn't have to abandon where I came from or abandon the people I love to serve Christ.
Yeah.
Like that they could look like us. And the first 10 years I thought that if you were saved, you were like perfect. But to see people coming in rough with tattoos, and they say I can't say swag no more because I'm the new generation, I gotta be dripping in sauce. That they were like dripping in sauce, as you will, and they still were on fire for God, and that is one thing that I think for me helped me, because I realized that I had held the justification that if I go out there sounding the way I speak now, they're gonna kill me.
Yeah.
And I had to learn how to educate myself and then still be able to connect to where I come from, because our stories is going to give other people out there permission to be you.
That's right.
And now I look at the vulnerability as strength.
That's right.
Like, if I look at what people would judge me at, then I'm limiting myself.
Yeah.
So I'm no longer trying to get acceptance from the people. I mean, trust me, I like to walk into a room and feel loved and welcome as well, but I also walk in there realizing that somebody else loves me already.
That's right.
So if he loved me and he has said that I'm worthy and sending his only son to die for me, then what am I worried about you trying to accept me?
Yeah.
I played that game. I lived that life.
Yeah.
Trying to have all the right answers for everybody and being everything, but never being strong enough to say, hey, brother, I lean on you.
Yeah.
Because big bro can't lean on nobody.
Right.
I got to be the one you lean on.
Right.
So I think that by us giving other men and women, young, old, permission to say, look, man, I need help.
Yeah.
I think that sometimes that gives, we're basically building legacy right here.
Yeah.
And I realized that I was hated on when I was doing the wrong. And now that I'm doing it right, the hating on that I will receive now and have been receiving it lets me know I'm doing something right.
I know that's right.
For the first time in my life, I ain't gonna lie to you, I really do love haters.
Yeah.
Back in the day, I was just saying that because it sounded good and made me feel good. Honestly, I couldn't stand y'all back in the day.
I know that's
But
right.
now I'm like, yes, because when you not talking about us, then we ain't doing something right.
Yeah.
But when you talking about us, we doing something right.
That's right.
And maybe by you talking about us, somebody in that room need to hear that, so they can get on the page and say, look, I'm gonna get the help.
That's right.
And so right now I know that I was able to step into this because another brother and other brothers seeing something in me that you out there will see in us.
That's right.
And I'm really just thankful to be a part of the platform and be a part of the story.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Man, like just the courage that you can gain from just being you and stepping into what God called you to do.
That's right.
And so I'm really just thankful for that, because up until this moment, like, people ask yourself, when we was out there living that crazy life, I ain't afraid to die. I remember I used to say that.
Yeah.
But I had all type of ways I wanted to go though, but I wasn't afraid.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
And now I feel like that if I do, that I can have peace knowing that every day how I build relationships, it matters.
Yeah.
Because when I look at Tupac and Biggie, don't kill me, I look at other artists like them and realize that they have lived far beyond the physical realm, because who they were in the hearts of us,
Yeah.
by what we speak on them now.
Yeah.
And even though we'll all be gone and we'll see in the kingdom, I do want to live in the lives of other people through conversation to say that how I and my story and what I have done in their life has affected generations.
That's right.
From what this is today.
That's right.
And so like that right there, I guess would say probably the most powerful moment for me to realize that even if I don't see it in my lifetime, that because of this, somebody else can break generational curses and attach generational blessings to their last name.
That's right.
And that starts with us. That starts with what we do and how we put it out there, And I'm really just glad that I have the courage now, through the strength of other brothers, to stand side by side with me for real, and really helping me and help mentoring and asking for help.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's an amazing thing. So
That's
yeah.
beautiful, man. I love that, man. Cause you know, like, you know, we had said, you know what I'm saying, something about death a little bit ago, and I remember I took my son recently to the graveyard to go get flowers.
Oh wow, yeah.
And as I'm walking through the graveyard, I'm showing my son. I said, look at all these young men in their 20s, 19, 22, 26. I said, man, that legacy's over with, bro. What are they gonna say?
Exactly.
Oh, that's a real. You know, rest in peace to the gone, but what is my legacy gonna say?
Yeah.
I don't want to be another statistic, bro. I don't want to be another real one.
No.
When I go, man, I hope, you know what I'm saying, just like you were saying, bro, I really hope that, man, when I go, people will say, hey, bro, that dude said something to me, man. That's a real one. Yeah. That dude didn't cause me to go on a crash dummy mission. That dude really talked me out of doing something, you know what I'm saying, hurt myself. Like, bro, that's the legacy I want to leave behind, bro. And to have gone through the struggles and pains and obstacles, man, that men like us go through, it really is for the next man, bro. And I really believe that, bro, what you shared, bro, was very vulnerable, man, very, very real and authentic, man. You know, we can see you tearing up, bro, and it's real, bro. And so that right there, bro, is gonna definitely touch the heart of someone watching this, bro, whether now, and just like you said, bro, you might not be able to see the fruit now, but it's all about planting that seed, man. And I guarantee you, bro, seeds have been planted in this hour that we've been talking, bro, because you know what I'm saying, you blessed me with quite a few things that we talked about, bro, so I want to thank you for that, man. You know, your testimony is beautiful, bro, and it's powerful, and I just want to let you know, bro, that, man, you got a real one standing with you, bro. Every step of the way, dog. You know what I mean?
Brother,
whatever
you already know,
bro.
Yes, sir.
And you know, we're gonna keep this kingdom thing going, bro. There's a young man right now, bro, that's in the same circles that we was involved in, man. That's on the fence, looking for a way out, bro. What would you say to that young man right now, man?
Well, for that young man, I would say, who are you? What do you believe in? What do you want in life? And I would say that if you don't heal now, you will continue to bleed over into every other relationship in your life. I would say that everything that happened to you was happening for you. I would say that I don't know what your mom and your dad or what you or anybody else did to you, but I know it's your responsibility to attach blessings to your last name. It's your duty. And I would say that in that circle, understand that no matter how crazy you may think that you're this small, that everybody is hanging out with you and you ain't hanging out with them. And that's what I would say.
Hey, man. Yeah. Amen, bro. I love that, bro.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're going to close this one on out, but, man, Brother Sean, I just want to thank you, bro. And listen, y'all, y'all watching this, y'all going to watch this later on, man, bro. Please keep bro prayed up, man. Yes, he just came home, man. He ain't been home 40 days, bro. So, you know what I'm saying? Keep bro prayed up, man. He's on a good path. He's got a lot of good people in his corner. Man, continue to keep him in prayer, man, because, man, the Bible says the prayer of a righteous availeth much, man. And so, you know, and then when 2 or 3 are gathered, man, the Lord is present. So, you know, the good thing about having fellowship and having brothers in Christ, man, is that, hey, man, we're there when one is going through hardship or, you know, goes astray or way. The Bible says if one falls, the other one picks them up, man. And so, listen, bro, this is what we're here, man. We picking brothers up, man. We keeping them on the right narrow path, the glorious path, man. And listen, man, continue to let your light shine, bro. This was amazing, Brother Sean. Thank you, bro. I love you,
You already know, man. Love.
Thank you, bro.
Love you, my brother.
Listen, man. Y'all hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Man, share this video if you like what we doing, man. Big bro.
You already know.